The question of why build your own project instead of buying something that's available out of the box has come up in the comment section, and I wanted to look at this because if you look at my book, I described in detail how I built it, why I built it, but what I want to get into in this video is specifically why I ended up building it instead of buying something. Now, this was in 2017, so a while ago, and a lot of the product that exists in the market today were not around. But I'm going to look at the options I had. The Brompton Electric was about to be released in Europe. Maybe it was already released in Britain in late 2017. I don't remember exactly. But suppose I had access to this price here in British pounds. This is at least $4,500. So what I spent, first of all, on my project was the frame, a premium finish Brompton frame with a 6-speed setup. If you are buying it today, because I'm looking at today's prices, this is the current price of an electric Brompton. It has a 12-speed and $4,500. So for me, a premium coated 6-speed is about $2,500 today. A green electric kit unmodified is $1,500. So I'm at $4,000 already. And then the various tuning features, the suspension seat post, the titanium handlebar, the custom chain wheel, all the custom work, the custom suspension, maybe another grand or so. So $5,000. It certainly would not be any cheaper. So building it yourself is not something you do because it's any cheaper. It's not cheaper. It's going to come out to be about the same price, but one of the reasons is all the pluses you get. One of my standards was that I did, first of all, this was built to outrun any of the road bikes that were harassing me. I described in the book my previous electric ride, which was something I bought out of the box straight, and it had a 15 mile per hour speed limit, which still allowed me excellent speed averages. Traveling to work was no problem. It was actually faster than on my Birdie bike, which was purely mechanical. But it was faster because it was a direct drive, which accelerates in an insane way. The direct drive is the one that gives out this high-pitched hissing sound, which you don't hear with this one. This is a geared drive, so the motor is not directly spinning the axle here, but there are some cogs or something inside this hub in the front. So in any case, I did great commuting there, and I started to use it more and more instead of my Birdie, but I was being harassed and bugged by the road bikes so much that I wanted to build something to outrun them. So the speed limit that you see with all of these, most of these bikes have speed limiters on them. So you get 12 speeds, but if you look in the specs, I don't know if they mention the speed limit on this one is actually 15 miles an hour. So it is the same. It is the same thing as I had before, and the motor is 250 watts. I actually wasn't opposed to a smaller motor, but to get the speeds I wanted, which would be definitely in the 30 mile an hour range, to consistently outrun road bikes, you would need that much. So 15 miles an hour just wasn't going to cut it, and 250 watt motor is probably never going to take you to 30 miles an hour. Certainly it's not going to be able to sustain it, maybe if you pedal like crazy. And of course the gearing on this thing is like the top gear inches, they are 120, mine is 148. This big wheel with the modification of the rear is 148 gear inches, and I know this because I actually measured it. And not to mention that the convenience, the comfort you get from the custom suspension. Here there is a custom piece, and there's a suspension seat post with an ultra wide seat that combines to something way more comfortable than you would get from this thing, which doesn't even come with the option of a really wide seat. So it's not adapting to the higher speed averages that you get with any of the electric bikes. Even if the top speed is limited, even then you're going to accelerate faster, you will take uphills faster. So overall the speed average is going to be faster, and you need more comfort. So yeah, if you buy it out of the box, it's yours directly. You can go down to the Brompton Junction and get one tomorrow. It's yours, $4,500, but you are getting an inferior product. The other one I looked at was the Tinker, which was actually around. This is even more expensive. I'm looking at current 2024 prices, over $6,000, but it's giving you way more than any of the Brompton models. It's got some suspension in the seat, not as much as I have, but it does have some. It doesn't really have anything in the frame in the rear, but in the front it is generous. Now the Bosch system, as I actually test rode this bike, it is a great bike for what it was built to do, but consider that the top speed is only 20 miles an hour. I love the belt drive. If I really want to spend more money on my bike, I can modify even the Brompton frame I have with a kinetics rear package to have a belt drive installed. It's not the most important thing on my mind right now, but consider that the limitation that the top speed on this thing is 20 an hour. That to me is already an absolute no-no. The other thing is that Bosch is a very reliable system, but it is trying to be very energy efficient by not allowing you to accelerate too fast. It forces you to gradually pick up speed and to go through the gears. And it has hub gears, excellent gear set, but still a very well built bike, but very limited acceleration, limited top speed. And of course there's also the problem that it's a bit more comfortable than the Brompton, obviously. Bigger wheels, 20-inch wheels with bigger tires, and even a little bit of a suspension in the seat, but still I don't get my big and wide butterfly seat. There is no suspension in the frame in the rear either. As far as compactness, there was also an issue that maybe this might not go into the office through the revolving door. So you can fold down this steering column and you can pull out the seat, and then it's going to be like roughly this big, and you can stand it up on the rear wheel, but it's not guaranteed. That I didn't want to take the chance with this bike. So it's a little bit too big a bike to buy, and for $6,000 I actually built mine for a little bit less. One last feature I almost forgot: because it has a center drive, it climbs really well, it accelerates well, but there's no electronic braking. The electronic braking I have in my Brompton up here is something I would not want to live without. Also comfort grips, in addition to the very comfortable seat. So even with this one, I would have to spend some money on upgrades to really make it as comfortable as the bike I have. So that's why I did not go for this one. Then there is the Go Cycle. Go Cycle is a beautiful bicycle. It's made of magnesium, carbon fiber. Even the wheels are custom carbon fiber wheels. It has suspension in the rear, not really in the front, not in the seat. So comfort is a bit of an issue with this. It's overall a very nice bike. And once again, you are limiting the speed. There is a top speed of 20 miles per hour. Here we go. 20 miles per hour. As far as the watts are concerned, for the US market, you get 500 watts. My original kit also came as a 500 watt kit, so I'm not even going to argue against this, but you just cannot use the power to accelerate. A 500 watt motor can do a lot better than 20 miles an hour. It should be able to do 27, depending upon how much you can pedal, even faster. And that's the other thing. Since they limit the top speed of the battery, then you don't need that aggressive a gearing either. So this bike really does not have the gearing to allow you to pedal at 30 miles an hour. And even though you have a motor in the front, and that's really nice, it does not have electronic braking, which is really stupid, because electronic braking is something, once you have it, you can't live without it. It's a great bike to have. I think it's very expensive, $6,000. It actually does fold. Not as compact as the Brompton, but you can even wheel it on these big wheels. So it's actually a very cool bike. And if you get a flat, you don't need to remove the wheels. You can easily get to them from either side. The wheels are suspended from one side only. So it's very hard to argue the practicality of this bike. It's a gorgeous bike, beautifully built, very protected. Your drivetrain is fully enclosed. All of that, you don't even need to remove the wheels. So it's a compelling argument, but why put a speed limit on it? Since everything is internal, the battery is in here, the controller hidden somewhere, there's really no easy way to unlock it. You would have to remove the controller, cut the wire from the battery to the controller, and buy your own controller, stick it somewhere, and connect the battery to it. So all of these prefab bikes, they are about the same price or even more than what you spend on your custom build. But they are extremely limited, even if some of the features are really appealing. And so that's the difference between buying something ready-made as opposed to build it yourself. If I was on the market again, I would be building it again myself. The only exception being the stand-up electric scooter. If I wanted to build something like that, there are a few companies that sell you really unlocked high-speed stuff that you really cannot best by building it yourself. But that's another video.
I'll be back.